Hello, today I'm going to take you through my personal workout. As a physical therapist, I find that it's very important to exercise on a regular basis. And so today I'm just going to do my personal workout. If you'd like to follow along, the things I'm going to be using today are a couple of free weights, a resistance band or two, a yoga mat, a ball, and just a sturdy chair or a counter, something that you can use to hold on to. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now, I'm just going to start with a little warm up. Now, if you're not comfortable lifting your arms, I find when you lift the arms, it helps get the heart rate going up a little bit better. You can just have your arms relaxed, holding onto the chair. Doesn't really matter. We're just trying to get the blood circulating. And when you're going, that's another thing, is when you're marching in place, you want to land with fairly soft feet. You don't want to land really hard because that's not good for the knees, the hips, or anything else. And the other thing is you'll notice that I'm wearing comfy shoes. They're not the most expensive, but they work well for my feet. I have just a slight bit of overpronation, so I like the Asics. I like the Brooks as well. And then one of the ones I want to try, hopefully in the next few months, is some Hokas. But that's going to be for another day and possibly another video. So we're just getting the heart rate up, and I forgot to get my water. So give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. So I had my little sip of water, and the next thing I'm going to do is just a few stretches. I'm just going to get the major muscle groups of the legs just to give me a little bit of stretch here. I'm doing a calf stretch. And with this, I like to keep my feet perpendicular to the chair, and I'm pressing the heel back. Now, I'm just holding this lightly for a little bit of balance. You want to hold it for about 30 seconds or so. And I don't know if I introduced myself. If I haven't met you before, my name is Kathy. I'm a physical therapist. I do still work, but I've also got this little YouTube channel on the side. And what my goal is for my channel is just to make exercise accessible. I'm looking at the older, a little bit older people, 50 and up, maybe 60 and up, something like that, who could relate to me because I am not. I'm not going to teach you how to lift heavy, heavy weights. I find with most of the people that I'm interested in working with, lifting heavy is great if you can do it safely. But that's the key, is just being safe, because as we get older, um, it's a little bit easier to help ourselves because the tendons and the ligaments aren't quite as supple as when we're, like, say, below 35. But these exercises are great for people that are younger too. So say you've been through some sort of an illness, or you've had some sort of medical complication, the exercises that I'm doing are going to be good for you as well. So the next one I'm going to do is a little bit of a quad stretch. I like to do this in standing. There's lots of different ways that you can do this, but what I like to do is just get my ankle, put a little bend in the stance leg, and then keeping my belly button to the spine, stomach muscles activated, I'm extending my hip. So you can see this hip is going back, and I'm trying to keep my knee kind of close to the other knee. What you don't want is you don't want it flared out. You just want it back. Um, and if your balance is good, what you can do is kind of let go of the chair, and you can challenge your balance that way. But that's only if you have good balance. If your balance is a little sketchy, keep your hand right on the chair, the counter, whatever you have handy, and just make sure you stay safe. And also, if you have not met me before, you will know, oh, you won't know this, but I have a terrible time of counting when I'm exercising and trying to talk. So, um, if my numbers are a little off, you can just let me know in the comments below. So far, nobody's mentioned, like, well, you said you did 10, but you really only did 8, or you did 12. But anywhere between 8 and 12 repetitions I like for most people. And a lot of times I'll recommend people do 3 sets of 10, 2 to 3 sets of 10, depending on your fitness level. Today, we're going to be doing both arms, legs, and core. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but according to my phone, which I use to record, I only have like 27 minutes total to get this out there. So I've done the quads, I've done the calves. Now I'm just going to do a little hamstring stretch. Now, if you have a little step, you can use a sturdy chair. Don't wreck your good chair, but this chair's um, I I'm okay with this. So I'm just going to put my foot up on the stair, or on the chair rather, and I'm going to hinge forward from my hips, kind of rocking the pelvis, doing kind of an anterior pelvic tilt. So I'm going back this way. And what that allows is like a nice stretch right in the hamstrings. So I'm going to hold that for a few seconds. And with all of these today, I'm just going to be estimating because talking and counting is hard. And so I might do 2 on each side. I might do 3, depending on how long you hold it. Ideally, 3, I think, would be a little bit better. The last time I did one of these videos, it was right before I was getting ready to go to work, and I really felt the time crunch. Today, I've got some things scheduled for later on, but I'm feeling pretty confident that we can get this done in a timely fashion. Again, I like to keep my feet perpendicular with this so that I'm getting right in the middle of the hamstring. If you want to get a little bit more on the inside, you can just rotate your body out to the side. And then I'm just doing more of uh, an anterior pelvic tilt. And I feel just a little bit more stretch right in the side there. So depending on how your balance is and which muscles are tight on you, you can do that if you like. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Rotate out to the side. Excuse me while I halfway turn my back to you, but that's okay. So I feel the stretch right in the inner thigh, which is great. So that's good on the stretching for today. So the next one I'm going to do is a sit to stand. And sit to stand, I am using a weighted ball because my sit to stands are pretty easy. This one here weighs 8 pounds. It came from like Five Below, something like that. My kids thought that that would be a great gift for me one year. So that's what, and it's been handy. So I think I had 2 of them actually at one point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to keep the ball right about chest level and go ahead and do these. And I don't know if you can see it. The blinds on that window are, they need to be repaired or replaced. I'm not sure because this is an older house. Was an addition. And the light coming in, while we enjoy it and we think it looks really nice, when I'm making videos, it's not the best. So yesterday, I decided to just put the sheet up to kind of let the light be a little bit more diffused so that I wouldn't have streaks of sunlight across me from the jealousy windows. And I think it's working pretty good. Um, I'm just learning. So things with light and audio, it's all really new to me. And I think that's probably closer to 12. So I've got my 4-pound weights and I'm going to do an overhead press. So I've got my feet a little bit apart, soft knees, stomach muscles engaged, the weight's just in front of my shoulders, and I'm just going to be lifting up overhead. Now, as I'm doing these, I'm also making sure that I keep my chin tucked. I don't want a forward head like this. I just want to make sure that I'm staying level, and we'll do somewhere around 10, maybe 12. I don't know. Like I said, counting is not my strong point. And for those of you who do know me, Jersey is with my younger daughter up in her room. They're just hanging out. Um, Jersey is really her dog. But every time I like to film, she likes to come nearby me. And I think if I do 1 or 2 more, That'll be good because what I'm feeling is a nice burn right in the back of my shoulders. So that's perfect for those. The next one I wanted to do is a stationary lunge. So for those, I think it's good to have a counter, something to hold on to. And the leg that I'm working is going to go in the front. The other leg is going to go into the back. And I'm going to just drop down, keeping the knees are keeping my knee behind my toes on the leg that's in the front. So I'm just coming down and back up. There's two. I think I'll count these. 3, 4, 5. Oh, but I did want to tell you something. If you're having trouble balancing, what you could do is put your chair on the opposite side so that you would have two to hold on to. And with these, you just want to go up and down the amount that you're comfortable with. If you're uncomfortable going down as far as I am, don't go quite so far. And if you feel like that's a little bit too easy, you can just go a little bit further. But just be careful, maintain your safety at all times with all of these exercises. And I'm looking at that knee. I'm making sure it's not going in front of my toe. So ideally, when you're working out, you would want to hit all the major muscle groups twice a week. Um, they recommend working out or doing strength training at least twice a week for 20 minutes. And that's like a starting point. Um, so that's what we've got here. We've got a starting point, and I think that's enough because my leg is starting to feel it. So that's good. So my next one I'm going to do is a bent over row. I like to stand with a split stance because it helps me to hinge forward and be more parallel to the ground without straining my back. Because with these, you want to keep your back straight. And I'm going to start with my hands together and lift up this way. And the nice thing is because I'm doing both at the same time, it's faster. Again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but these weights are about 4 pounds. I don't have a lot of different hand weights in this size. In the basement, I have like the old fashioned kind that are like, have the little plates on them. Well, I guess they're not old fashioned. They still use those today. But I think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, somebody like that when I do those. And this is great for getting the back muscles, and that's great for your posture. Now, on these, I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little bit of a burn. I think I might be over 10 or 12, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to do, I want the last one or two to seem pretty hard on these. So when you're exercising, you want it to be so that the last one or two are quite challenging for you. And if they're not, you can always increase the weight to make it the right amount for you. So the next one, oh, this is one of my favorite. And I'm just going to use this little band here around my ankles. And I may need to move some things out of the way here. So this one is going to be the lateral walking with resistance. For these, I like to keep my feet apart, knees bent, and I'm hinged forward from the hips a little bit, but overall, if you see me from the side, my back is straight. So I'm just stepping to the side and coming back together. I find that keeping my hands on my hips like this helps me to engage my core muscles and keep me a little bit more steady, because if you have bad balance, you'll definitely want to hold on with these. And I just was rocking back and forth a little bit. We don't really want that rocking so much. So let me try to hone in on my form here. Now with these, it just depends on how much space you have available for you. So for me, I'm doing a few steps to the left and a few steps to the right. And because I'm just filming with my camera, it does not follow me. I'm hoping maybe in a few months that I might be able to get like the Osmo Pocket 3 and it can just follow me around. But then that creates a whole nother set of learning. And right now, I feel like I'm maxed out on my learning with my YouTube channel. Um, Recently, CapCut is what I use for my editing. I use the pro version. It's like 9.90 9.99 a month, so $10 a month, which I think is really great. For me, it's very intuitive. Um, so I'm hoping that it doesn't get banned just because um, it's a great app for editing. Hopefully, they're not stealing too much of my information, but it's a great app for editing. I really enjoy it. I think if it goes down, I might switch over to DaVinci Resolve. Just going to be an upright row. And you could use a resistance band for this. I'm just going to use these weights. Again, feet are going to be about hip width apart. And I'm just going to put the weights together and bring them up about this high. And then slowly lower it back down so I get a little bit of eccentric control. Now I feel like this one, these weights are probably a little bit too light for me. So I might do a few more on this one. I might do 15, maybe even 20. And with all of these exercises that I'm having you do, if anything causes you pain, stop, reset, reassess, and see what you're doing that might be modified a bit so that you don't get any pain. Because direct acute pain while you're exercising is definitely a sign that you should stop. Okay, these aren't too bad. I'm actually getting a little bit of fatigue in my muscles, especially the left one. I think I had mentioned in one of my other videos that I uh, was lifting packages over Christmas, and I think I was lifting something awkward and not too heavy, but just awkward to carry. And I strained one of my shoulders. And at this point, I don't exactly remember which shoulder it was, but based on this, I'm thinking it must have been my left side. I'm one of those people that I get I do something that I'm pretty sure is going to cause a bruise and say, oh, that's going to bruise. And then the next thing you know, it's 3 days later and I'm like, how did I get that bruise on me? So anyways, the next one we're going to do is a hip resisted range of motion. And for this one, I'm just going to hold on to the chair a little bit and we'll do about 10 of each on these. So a little bend in my stance leg, and I'm going to bring that leg out to the side. And that's going to work the gluteus medius, the muscle right here. And I'm just looking down just to make sure that my knee is bent. I'm not going over my toes. I'm keeping my other foot straight. So there's a lot of small things that I like to make sure are right when I'm doing these. So sometimes it's good to even be in front of a mirror when you're doing these exercises to make sure your form is right, because you don't want, it's not that you're looking in the mirror for vanity. You're just making sure your form is right. So stance leg, small bend, stomach muscles activated, foot pointing forward. And I'm also looking to see, am I tilting to the side, which I guess I could do that looking up, but sometimes it's easier looking down. Now this pink band is the light resistance of a loop band that one of my patients actually gave me a pack of, and they work pretty good. The nice thing about it is that they have lasted a long time. They're very durable, which sometimes the TheraBand, especially if you get the rolls of it, once you cut it and tie it in knots, sometimes it wears out. And I've had these ones, I don't know, a couple of years. I don't use them a lot because they're not my favorite, but they work pretty good. So now we're kicking back. And with this, I just want to keep my soft knee. I'm engaging the glutes as I go back and bringing it to the start position. So for this one, if I come all the way back to the start, I lose the tension in the band. So I'm just going to keep it back a little bit just to keep the tension in the band so that it targets the glutes a little bit better. So yeah, my daughter, we, well, I should say, yeah, we went live. She wasn't on camera because she's younger and we're going to wait before I let her go live on anything. In fact, she doesn't even have a phone right now. She's 11 years old, and I know she's in a minority of her classmates when it comes to the phones. I'm not quite ready yet to let her have a device. Now, I've got a lot of kids. My older kids, they got their devices like in high school, and she's still in middle school. But this was years ago where, having a phone in high school um, seemed more reasonable. Nowadays, I know kids in elementary have them, but um, I'm just not quite ready for that. So the next one is going to be going forward. So again, slight bend in the knee, and I'm kicking forward. This is going to work the muscles in the front of the leg. But I just feel like we're going to wait a little bit on that. But anyways, getting back to going live. So I went live. Well, I've had two attempts. The first one, I wasn't actually live, but I thought I was live. So there's that. And then the second one, I actually went live and it was a lot of fun. But at one point, there were 5 people watching me, which I know 5 people is in the YouTube world is nothing. And I know most of my videos get way more than 5 views. But I got stage fright and it felt terrible. So I know that's kind of ridiculous to get stage fright on YouTube because I'm not actually on a stage. But one of the things I'm working on is just trying to be more me and trying to be more relatable. And I'm working on it. It's hard. So yeah, it's hard to just be you and just like it's different when I'm at work because there's another person talking with me versus me just talking to the camera. And it's different in live stream too, because you actually have a little bit of two-way conversation. But the tricky part for me with the live was just it felt like there was too much going on. So my daughter had to read the comments because I could not, I just felt like there was too much going on. Well, I got cut off. I was filming in pro mode using my camera and I used up all the space I had that way. And so now I have 5 minutes to do my bridges with the ball. So what I'm going to do, and I did this in a video just the other day where I'm sitting on the ball, I'm going to roll myself on down and I'm just going to do a bridge. I think I need to back up a little bit because last time, hopefully you can still see me. Last time I cut off part of myself and it was awkward. So anyways, going to roll on down. I'm going to put this ball right in my lap. And then what I'm going to do is the ball is supporting my shoulders and I'm just going to lift up. And some people do this with a weight, like a bar across their lap. Um, And with this, again, I'm just trying to keep my head in a neutral position. If you wanted to, you could hold your head with the other hand. I don't know. I don't like the position of this. There you go. Maybe that's better. I'm just kind of holding it right in place here as I go up and down. And I should probably be going slower, but now that I know I only have a few minutes, it makes me want to go faster. Okay, let me try this again. So up. Alrighty, there I'm starting to feel it. That feels good. Okay. Alrighty, so I could actually feel that, so I feel good with that one. The next, so for these, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get down on my knees. If you can't get down on your knees, um, you can choose a different core exercise. So for these, I'm just on my stomach, my hands, my shoulder, my arms directly under my shoulders, and I'm just going to lift up and hold. And for these, I'm just going to hold a few seconds. You can see that I'm shaking pretty good on these. So that's probably good. I'm hoping my back, I'm hoping my back is in a good alignment. I don't know. If I tuck my shirt, you might be able to see better, but hopefully you'll be able to see my stomach better so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. And if you want, you can just do as little as 5 seconds. I'm trying to keep my belly button into my spine. I'm trying to make sure I keep my back straight. I'm trying to make sure my head is in a neutral alignment just so I don't get a neck pain. And for me, this is probably good because I'm huffing and puffing as I'm doing this. Now, which is good because you don't want to hold your breath while you're doing any of these exercises. So I'm going to go again, lifting up, trying to keep the belly button to the spine, trying not to let my shoulders sink down like that, trying to keep them right on up, trying to keep my butt level and breathe. Very important not to hold your breath. I feel like that's good on those. And last but not least, which was the side planks. Now for me, these are really hard. I can probably only hold them about 5 seconds. So I'm going to make sure this arm is directly under my shoulder. I'm going to help stabilize with this, and I'm going to lift up and hold just a few seconds. And you can see I'm wiggling. That just means I need to do a little bit more. Now, I do feel a tiny bit of strain in my arm, but it's not causing pain. It's just I'm going to be very aware of what's going on in that arm because this is it's a lot of weight to hold up here. So holding it just like that, trying to keep everything neutral. All right, I keep getting cut off because my phone is apparently full. But anyways, thank you for coming by today. I know if you made it to the end, you are a trooper. And if you enjoyed this workout here, YouTube thinks you might also enjoy this video here. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you soon.